chat with you, Thea, then. Start at
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge. Chelsea ended Dortmund's 12-game unbeaten run. You're right, Luca.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't hear you, but it's because my Bluetooth was on. I've sorted it out, I hope.
Ended their 12-game unbeaten run. 2-0 win, coming from 1-0 down that it was in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea were brilliant that game.
Yeah.
Dortmund were pretty awful, although
Yeah.
Graham Potter did do really well to cope with the pressure on that game.
Yeah.
Is it still sort of Potter out, or what
I
are your
think so.
opinions on that?
I think it's a bit better now they're going further in the Champions League. Like if they lost that game, it probably would have been like everybody would have wanted him out. But so far of their streak before this, you'd want him out. But I think they're now just going to see however far they go in the Champions League, and at least it's a bit more safe for him now. They've beat Dortmund, and I think he'll stay a bit longer now. And I don't think he'll get sacked straight away because if they lose like the next few games, if they get knocked out of the Champions League next round, then yeah, everybody will want him to go. Yeah.
What about you, Luca?
Well, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would want him out as well. And even not as a Chelsea fan, I think he should go. As much as he got this obviously amazing win against Dortmund, yeah, his run in the Premier League is shocking. It's terrible. He's beat the odds of Leeds maybe, but yeah, I think he should go. He's not doing well. Not a good turnaround.
Yeah, he's had some pretty bad results.
Yeah,
Lost to
terrible.
Southampton. I've forgotten a few others, but he's not done very well.
Yeah, he's lost to some terrible teams as well.
Yeah, I mean they played a 3-4-3. That's what Potter started with. Maybe at the start when he came in, moved to a 4 at
Yeah.
the back, and he wasn't very good. Played 3-4-3 today, and it
Hmm.
worked. It worked really well. I mean, he can get Chilwell and James exactly where they need to be playing.
Yeah.
And I mean, not only are they both brilliant defenders at the moment, but they're probably one of Chelsea's
Yeah.
best attacking players,
Oh yeah,
especially
definitely.
with all the attackers that they have.
Hmm.
Their
Amazing
fullbacks are probably
attackers.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so I mean, also Kukurea, who
Hmm.
he's looking better at three at the back. Has I mean, he came from Brighton. He was maybe
Yeah.
probably in the top 5 best Brighton players. Would you see him? Did you really when he came? Did you see him
No,
doing as well as he maybe did?
no. I mean, he had a good game last night against Dortmund. I think he played really well that game for his return from injury, I think. But yeah, I didn't see this happens quite a lot of the time when you get players from smaller clubs and bring them up after a couple of good games of that club, bring them up to an amazing team like Chelsea. Yeah, I didn't see him performing as well. And was it 60 million they got him for? I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think everyone thought that was a waste of money anyway, because 60 mil for a Brighton player who, as you said, is probably in their fifth best, but still a couple of good performances. I didn't see him performing as well as he did at Brighton.
Yeah, they'd basically splash out cash for
Yeah, they do that with
anyone they
everyone.
want.
Yeah,
I know. And they don't need more players. They probably need to
yeah.
get rid of a few.
It's whole stadium rocking up to training with
Yeah.
Chelsea.
I as a West Ham fan, I know Kukurea isn't a standout defender at Chelsea. They've got like
Yeah,
Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, and obviously now the fullbacks Chilwell and James.
yeah.
And just on the topic of them, how big is it for Chelsea having them back now?
Well, massive. I think. Well, yeah, yeah. I think. Well, if you look at the likes of Chilwell and obviously James, like you said, I think have them back from injury or whatever yeah, I think it was injury. Although, because Thiago Silva's now I think he's been injured, hamstring, I think.
Yeah,
But he's out for a couple of weeks, I think. I think it's until April, if I'm right, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's big getting them back because Chelsea were definitely performing much better than they were
whilst they were injured, and they've shown us that last night against Dortmund. They can play amazing when they've got the right team there. That's why splashing too much cash on too many players may not always be right, even if they're great players, because they won't connect well. So yeah, I think it's very big having them back for Chelsea.
Yeah. Theo, just in an Arsenal's perspective, would you maybe have who have you got? Ben White. I know you're a Ben White fan, so would you have say any of the fullbacks? Would you have Chilwell or James out of any Arsenal fullbacks?
Out of James.
No, I keep Ben White. He's a legend, best right back in the league, in my opinion. I'd keep Zinchenko just because he's had an amazing season, and like he's everywhere on the pitch, every game. Tierney, at the minute, because he's not playing, I'd probably have maybe Chilwell over him. But in terms of our starting fullbacks, I'd keep Zinchenko and Ben White probably. Because to be honest, in my opinion, Ben White over Reece James. Ben White's just a bit better.
No.
Kieran Trippier. He's a right back. Yeah, you said
from Chelsea.
Oh no, I mean, but you said that Ben White was one of the best in the league at the moment.
Oh, he's amazing.
You've got Kieran Trippier
as well, obviously.
Kyle Walker, obviously, we don't want to say too much about Kyle Walker. And just going through like some of the teams you've got, I mean, maybe not, Wan-Bissaka from.
No,
not.
Trent can't defend. He can't defend though, Trent. But like.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I would have Trippier over Ben White.
I don't know about that.
Wouldn't you?
I don't know. Just because I like Ben White so much, and I don't know, the whole Arsenal squad I just love at the minute. We're playing amazing, so I probably wouldn't replace many of them. Maybe Nketiah. I'd replace him probably.
Yeah.
I'd have Trippier and Reece James over Ben White. No offense to Ben White, he's good and all, but Trippier and James are different levels than Ben White.
Okay.
See, I'm honest.
Okay. We'll carry on with the Champions League. It's obviously Kai Havertz scored. First goal since they won 1-0 against Crystal Palace back in the 15th of February. What's that? Almost 2 months ago. And he has been playing at least it says here 88 minutes every game after that, and he's not scored 2 months. It was from the penalty spot though.
Yeah.
And
he did get a retake.
Yeah. That game he probably should have had about 3 or 4.
It was a bit lucky with the retake, I guess. I mean, it was probably, but it was a bit lucky because he did miss at the start. But yeah, Chelsea did deserve the win. Obviously, they played great.
I'm sure Chelsea fans would have thought, "Oh, not again." When I hit the post that first one, it would have been a relief for Havertz as well, having that retake.
It was a bit lucky that he got it again, but I think overall Chelsea did deserve that.
Yeah, there was Chilwell though in the box with Otterbeck, who it was someone one of the Dortmund defenders who ran in. Chilwell was in there too.
Exactly.
Does that
I don't think he's gonna miss.
Yeah, I don't really get the whole going into the box while they're taking. Obviously, I get the rule you can't step into it because you're going to distract them or you're going to clear it away before they get the rebound. But still, if there's a Chelsea player in there as well, then surely I don't get the point of retaking it because it's not just a Dortmund player. There's also your own teammate there as well.
Yeah. I mean, from now, I know we're all not Chelsea fans, so we'll have different opinions than what they would. But what would a good season look like for Chelsea? So, would it be acceptable from now? What would be an acceptable season from now for
top 6
Chelsea?
I think.
Top
6.
Just because of the standards Chelsea have had over the past many seasons, they've always been in that top 6, and currently all Chelsea fans are probably angry because of how bad they're doing in the league. But yeah, to get they probably won't win the Champions League. So to get to maybe just quarters of that and in the Premier League, about maybe top 6 or 7 would be good for them. Because obviously their start to the season has been poor.
Should they stick with Potter at the moment?
I don't think so. No. I don't want to be all against Potter, but no, I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, are there any better replacements at the moment, really?
Not really, no. There's like
at the moment.
Yeah, the only one I can think of really is if Mourinho would leave Roma.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving Roma though. That's the thing.
Especially for Chelsea.
Yeah.
More of a downgrade, I think.
Chelsea at the minute, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you say that Potter is sort of a mid-table team manager? As in not Chelsea, because at the moment they're mid-table.
Brighton
Let's
really
say the usual mid-team tables.
He's not up there, obviously, because Chelsea's big 6 team. He's not up there with the likes of Pep and Arteta. And I think Brighton was a perfect team to suit him, because mid-table, going up a little bit, but yeah, Chelsea's not his club.
Because I don't think he knows what to do with the amount of players at Chelsea and like the amount of talent as well. Because at Brighton there was just like the odd amazing player, and I think he's just struggling at Chelsea. And if you look, he was better at Brighton.
It must be hard as well, having to give everyone game time.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've basically got 2 other squads on the bench or on reserves, and if they're all pretty big players, you have to say. You know, they've got like Koulibaly on the bench. You know, big Mason Mount, who part of the England international squad.
Yeah.
If they all want game time, it will be hard for Potter to manage all the tactics and manage who they play when they play.
You got to play them so they don't leave the club, but you already have this amazing talent. Well, talent on the pitch. It's going to be hard to give everyone game time and give them a fair amount of time they want until they just get pushed out of the club.
Sorry, the Arsenal lineups have just come out, and
we're
just gonna. Koulibaly's playing his first game for us, and we've got Nelson starting.
Yeah,
cool.
And Ben White, best right back.
I mean, would a decent Champions League run mean that? So, say if they get Benfica next round, they would have to win. Whereas if they get a bigger team, say Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and lose, then that would be sort of fair, you know.
Yeah, that would be fair if they lose to them. But if they get the likes of the easier teams, like you said, Benfica, I think they have to accept only a win there. Things like this.
Because beating a team like Dortmund, if they got Benfica, they'd have to win. But at the rate their season's going, if they got like you said, maybe Bayern or like Real Madrid, then you wouldn't really expect them to win.
Yeah. I mean, would they want the UEFA Conference League? Because I thought Arsenal a few seasons ago did benefit without having Europe. You know, they could just sort of focus on things they needed to improve on. Is that what Chelsea need?
If they don't get top 6, I don't think they'll want Conference League, because obviously I wasn't happy not getting in Europe, but like you said, the plus was you could only focus on Premier League games and FA on the side, obviously, but you wouldn't have to worry about injuries in Europe or when playing time you give people in Europe. So I think if they don't get top 6, which is probably acceptable, I don't think they'd need the Conference League, because as we know, Conference League is just something to make Spurs happy. So
yeah, I mean, there's only really not many things about Dortmund to talk about, because it's all mainly Chelsea. But with a 12-game unbeaten run, and now is it like well, it's obviously a bad result for them, but is it sort of a blow in every competition they're in? So you know, because it would have an effect on the players' mentality going into next games in the Bundesliga.
The same thing happened with Arsenal.
Yeah.
When we lost in the FA Cup against Man City, it's not the FA Cup, so we didn't need to worry about Prem games. But then 2 games after that, we've lost to Brentford and then lost to Everton and then drawn to Brentford. So it really does affect the other leagues and competitions you're in, because it's just the mentality of the players. It's not actually about the points they're losing.
And if you think
they
probably should have beat Chelsea as well at the stage both teams are doing, so it'll be quite like a downfall for them. Not like a big one, but like you said, mentality of the players. And I think after this, Bellingham not being in the Champions League, you were saying, Callum, that he'll probably leave now in the summer or something.
I mean, he's definitely a Premier League standard player. I mean, the tackles he was putting in that game are tremendous. And as well, with Dortmund, the other players at Dortmund not being really on his sort of level, as you could say, it showed that he's a brilliant leader as well. And say at the moment in the league, a team like Chelsea, do you think maybe, obviously he's being linked with other clubs, and Chelsea wasn't really one that was, and Chelsea have already got a huge bunch of players.
Yeah.
But if they could get Bellingham, do you think they would as well for that sort of leadership part?
Yeah, definitely.
Because really, Potter's not doing great as the manager at the moment. And there's no one really, there's no true captain really at Chelsea at the moment that can really lead them to where they need to be.
And if they're spending more money, then they'd be happy to do that. I mean, Bellingham will be like, he'll be loads, but yeah, like you're saying, it'll be good for him to be like their captain role and a good leadership player. But with the amount of players they need, to be honest, I don't even know if they need any more.
Yeah,